on building a many-to-many, and what are the models that we have, and how can we have those models translate into code? What exactly do we need to do? Oh, now you're quiet.
We need a migration for each table, and we need a model for each, sorry, a migration for each class and a model for each class.
That is absolutely correct, right? Who feels like comfortable that they knew how to do that, right? All right, so let's do it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make those models right now with that touch. And what are the 3 models that I'll need? Okay, cat.rb. Oh, rabbit. Well, you said feral. Let's go feral because the idea 1, we want to make sure we give the a proper.
Shouldn't the file name be snake case? I've read that, I think.
It can be. So feral cat, sure, and then it should be snake case. Yeah, I would just go with wild. Like it's in the wild. Like it's not domesticated. It's not like in a zoo or anything. It also like has a tinge of like hunter to it. So feral cat and
Food plate.
what?
A plate of food.
Plate. So just put food. Show our food. And what was the other one?
Crazy cat leaders.
Let's put oh man. Let's put nice person.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah? Nice person dot RB. Wow. Cool. So what's the relationship between this nice person, the food, and the feral cat? Using the words has many and or belongs to appropriately.
Food belongs to a feral cat and a nice person, and a nice person has many cats through food.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So like look, you have this model here and this model here. And those are the 2 many-to-manys, right? Feral cat has many nice people, right? And many nice people can feed many cats, and they only know each other if they're being fed by the food, right? Otherwise, you're just some stranger, and you may not be the nicest person. You're like, look at that cat. You just roll on, you know? So there was 2 things that we needed to do, right? The first thing was make all the models. And what was the second thing we needed to do? We need to make the migration so that the models can actually be mapped to the database. So if we remember, you can always run rake t and take a look at all the rake tasks and what task do we want to use. Right, rake db, create migration. And if you always forget, you can just run this. It'll give you that error message that says it needs a name. And what should we name it?
Feral cats.
Yeah, feral cat. You sure with the S? S or no? No S. Plural or no plural? Let's reveal our votes here. Right, remember the table holds all the data, and that's typically pluralized. Cool. Great. And so what other migrations do we need? Foods? Foods.rb? Okay, and then lastly?
Persons.
You always have to write create underscore, or is that just like
That is just a convention because as you start to look at all of your migrations, someone's going to come look at this one day and just like, wow, you have 30 migrations. What do each one do? Without clicking through the file, you can see very quickly that this one creates the drinks table. And so you're just naming it so that it's well named so you can reference it later quickly. But you don't actually need that to answer your question. But good question. So create what now? Persons or I believe the pluralization is people.
Well, will it handle that?
We are about to find out. All right, cool. I might have shot myself in the foot, yeah. Oh, snap. Oh, I'm bursting. That's okay. So we will just go very quickly. We'll just do a little rename action and just get rid of that second .rb. And we will do that also right there. Cool. And then, so I've noticed very quickly, they're not in my models, right?
Yeah.
So I can just go, oop, and just go bloop. What's that? Feral cat. Bloop. And then food. Bloop. All right, cool. How do I actually build this? Feral cat model. Class. How do I do this? Space?
No.
Just like this?
Almost.
Is that right? All right, cool. And then this should pull in what? That magic, right? The active record base. Noise. Cool. So without reinventing the wheel, we'll just change this to food. And then we'll change this to nice person. Cool. So we should probably test, yeah? Or what else can we do? I created the migrations. I should probably do what? If I migrate right now, what would be in there?
Nothing.
Nathan, right? So, cool. What is the syntax for this? You don't have to memorize it, but what are we trying to do? There we go. And what is the name of this table? Like this?
Underscore.
Is it underscore?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then when I do, I end. I don't want to forget that. T dot. So what are the attributes of this feral cat? Very good.
What's the, like, would string be the same as text?
Yeah, strings basically winds up being like varchar in the database, or like text.
Impure smelliness.
Sure.
They take care of themselves.
Smelliness. All right. Smelly cat. Smelly cat. Thank you. Yes, that was my generation. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna rip this like the dirtbag that I am. Bloop, 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 bloop. So what do we need in this foods table? So what is the foods table exactly? What is the foods table? It's the join, right? So how would you describe, again, the relationship between feral cats, foods, and nice people? Let's establish the relationship between feral cats and food. What is has many and what is belongs to?
Well, food belongs to feral cats. Feral cats has many.
So if food belongs to feral cat, and it belongs to, which feral cat does it belong to? It needs to know which one it belongs to, right? So how can I indicate that?
I would have like a feral cat ID.
And what is that called? The foreign key. The primary key is the auto-incrementing thing that starts at 1, and every time you make a new one, it's 2. You make a new one, it's 3. This is the foreign key. Whoops. And then what would I want to call this?
Feral cat.
I want to call it feral cat ID. And what about the relationship between food and nice people? What does belongs to?
Nice people has many foods. Foods belong to nice people.
Who agrees with that? Nice people belongs to food, food belongs to nice people? Cool. So which food belongs to what nice person?
You need again another.
I need another foreign key, right? So just like in the join table, when we were building it out, right, with restaurant reviews and customers, the reviews, the join table, it has to know about both the customer and the restaurant. So if this is the join table, it must know about both the feral cat and the nice people. So what would I want to call this foreign key?
Nice person ID.
Nice person ID? We'll find out. And then lastly, what do we have here? Nice person or nice people? Sure? Cool. And then this person has a name?
Yep.
All right, let's not go with smelliness for people. That's kind of rude. And then finally, we should probably migrate. So I can do rake db, migrate. And because of all this like pluralization, singularization, ooh, that blew up on me.
Oh.
Oh, oops, I have the .rb here because it just auto-generated that. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. It auto generated the .rb because I put .rb like on top of it.
Oh, right.
I was like, oh man, that broke. That was embarrassing. But it's gonna be okay.
Does it matter, I mean, what the foreign key is called, or is it just helpful in terms of like knowing which ones?
It will 100% matter because Active Record will run the pluralization or the singularization, and it will look for a foreign key that matches. And so we will literally test it right now, and if it works, then we can understand the pluralization. If it doesn't work, then we will see, because Ruby and Active Record has such great error messages, it might even say, did you mean? Or it'll actually tell you what it's looking for, so you can kind of understand what's going on. So I ran the migrations. I'm gonna test this by looking at the schema. And I see I have feral cats, I have foods, and I have nice people. And they're all there. So let me go into that rake console so I can kind of test everything. So let's make some test data. How can we make some test data? Should I do it in this pry here or what?
Sorry, I actually have a question.
Mhm.
So when you make those tables, they like automatically have a primary key side, then you don't have to check that out.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yep.
You can do it here, but I
I can do it here manually, or there's a seeds file that I can literally start putting this in. So I know I have a feral cat class. Create. Boop, boop. So what does the feral cat have again? I can take a look at the schema, and it's just name and smelliness. Yes, very good. So we have name and smelliness. So what is the name of this cat? What? Magurta? Smelliness factor? Oh, it's an integer, right?
Yeah.
10.
Wow, you guys really don't like Magurtas. Okay. Any other cats?
Rocket.
Sure. Rocket smelliness?
And 2.
That was very specific. All right. Any other cats?
Leonard.
Leonard. Smelliness? I feel like Leonard just like a clean cat for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Just sounds like a clean cat.
High class cat.
Anything else?
No.
Huh?
Phoebe Buffet. Oh.
Phoebe.
Nah, from Friends, man.
Yo, she was kind of weird, right? What about nice people? How do I do this?
Do you want to set up the has many and belongs to relationships in your classes, like before, so we can test if the relationships work?
Mm-hmm. I will get to that in a second. Let's just like write out these instances, and I will get to that right now. So, can I do foods right now? Right, I need both objects of the many-to-many before I can start instantiating instances of the join table. So, how do I make this nice person? .create, sure. And what is it? What do they need? Just a name, right? Anyone want to be a nice person?
Bob Ross.
Oh my God! Wow, that was a weird brain fart. What's up? What about our good friend who's Mr. Breathtaking himself? Oh yeah, of course. Swag Lord. How can I possibly forget?
Mr. Rogers.
You're on fire today. All right. So just so I have access to them later, I'm just gonna do this. Oh, you always want to see something wild? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Let me just get rid of this. And then I can just do 3, 4. You're really enjoying this, aren't you? Person 1.
Bob Ross, it's too much.
Bob Ross, Phoebe, and Mr. Rogers.
This is a very interesting class for sure. Let's make this food. And what do they need? What does this food need?
The 2 foreign keys.
The 2 foreign keys, right? The feral cat ID and the nice person ID, right? So feral cat ID and the nice person ID. Cool. So how many of these should I have? So I can do like boop, 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 boop. I can do 1, 1, 1, 2, 3 for fun. Cool. And this is kind of like not important. 3, 2, 1, 4, 1. Cool. So do I actually need this right here? I don't, right? This is not really important because I'm going to be referencing from the database. All right, so how can I actually execute all of this code in my seeds file? Well, let's check. What are my rake tasks? Does any of them talk about maybe like seeding or loading the seed data from a seeds.rb file? Well, it's right here, right? Rake db seed. Boop.
Are you typing grades somewhere
It's right there.
I'm sorry, yeah, it's just right at the end because this is just so long. So I'm just running, yeah, if you want to like see it, I'm running rake db seed. Cool. All right, so how come it didn't say anything? It just runs silently. So if you ever really want to test your seed data, you can do something like puts and just like making feral cats, smiley face. And then just put like puts, cool, creating those nice peeps. And then when it runs, like those print statements will come out. And so if it ever breaks, you can see where it breaks inside your seed data. Cool?
But it never like puts it onto that file, right? It just puts it into the database.
Yeah, it just runs this file. And because I'm doing create, it saves to the database. So if I were to go back and do rake console, get into my console, I should see feral cat. It should exist. I can do feral cat.all, and I should see all the feral cats that I made. I should also see nice person.all. And where's this all method coming from that I didn't build? That active record magic. Great. So what I want to do is I want to actually establish these relationships, right? So let's talk about feral cat and what is feral cat's relationship with food and nice person. Feral cat blank blank food. Okay, it what? Has many what? Foods. Okay. And what about nice person?
Has many.
It doesn't really directly.
Has many nice people.
So feral cat has no relationship with nice person.
Has many.
So the feral cat only knows the nice person through what? And what do they have? Is the feral cat belong to the nice person or has many nice persons or people? Has many what? Nice people or nice persons? Right? And remember, it only knows them, I think it's like through like this,
Oh, yeah, okay.
through foods.
Do you need the colon after through?
I think so. But, ready? Active record has many through. Look at this. Boop, boop, boop. Let's do this. Doop, doop, doop. Look at this many to many, John. It looks just like this, in case you ever forget. I actually looked it up because I wasn't 100% sure. You know? Boop. All right. So, back to the code. If you're doing this, has many through, right? Notice how this is symbol foods. This is a method foods. And it's being built by this has many syntactical sugar. Just like the adder reader and the adder writer are building those getter and setters, this is building that relationship method that finds the foods with this feral cat ID. So will this work?
No.
Why would this break?
You would have to initiate like foods first because Ruby works linearly. So line 4 would have to be on line 3 because you have to establish foods before you can make the connections in nice people.
That is correct. It's going to do, has many nice people, and it's going to do through foods. Right here, it's going to be like, hey, there's no foods method, and it doesn't really understand that. So it has to be this way. Great. What about food? What's the relationship between food and feral cat? Belongs to what? Feral cats? Okay, and then what? Nice person.
Can you do it on the same line?
I would put them on separate lines. But cool. I don't think so. What about nice person? What's the relationship here between nice person and food? Has many what? Foods? Cool. And then nice person and feral cat? Right. But how does it know the feral cats? Only through the foods. So we've written a lot of code, right? We've tested a little bit on the way, like all the instances, the seed data, it's all there. Let's actually test to see if all of these relationships work. Cool. So I'm going to exit out of here. Let me get back into my array console. And so the idea here is that I should be able to do feralcat.foods and get all of them, and feralcat.nicepeople and see all the nice people associated with this feral cat, right? So I can do feralcat.first, and I can get the instance. So I'm on the instance now, and this instance has all the instance methods. So I would do feralcat.first.foods. Now I should see the foods that are associated with this feral cat, right? So this feral cat is ID 1. That would mean that in my seed data, I should see foods, particularly 3 of them, that have the feral cat ID of 1, which makes sense because I got 3 back, right? I didn't get all of them. I get all 5. I only got the ones that have ID 1 on there because this feral cat had ID 1. Are there any questions on that? Great. I should also do feralcat.first, and I also built another method on them, and that is called nice people. So let's see. Is nice people a method that works? Are there any questions as to how that worked? Who feels comfortable about why that worked? Like, I'm good. If you don't participate, I will drag the lecture on and explain it, and I know you don't want to do that. Sure. So, remember when you did that many-to-many relationship in the code challenge? So you're kind of going through the join table to get to the other table, and this line of code is doing that for you. So if we look back at the docs, what you'll see is you have your feral cat and you have your nice people, and this is the foods table. It's the joiner. So if I'm going from feral cat to the nice person, the feral cat has many nice people, but only through the food. And so the idea here is the SQL that's going to run is going to be like, look, I need to see the physicians. I'm sorry. I need to see the nice people associated with this feral cat if I look inside the foods table. So if I'm ID 1 feral cat, embarrassing. I'm ID 1 feral cat, I'm going to look at, hey, like, yo, let me see all of my foods. And then I see nice people. It's going to give me the nice person 3, 2, and 1. Does that make sense? So it's going to iterate through all of this and then do a map for this nice person that has ID 1. It's going to run a query. And it's going to say, give me all the nice person objects with ID of 3, 2, and 1. Does that work? All right. And so let's test our other methods, right? Food has these 2 methods. So if I do food.all, can I do food.all and then just do .feralcat? That would be crazy because food.all returns what? All the food objects in an array-like object, the active record collection. So I actually need to do food.all, and I can just probably pick one of them because I need the instance to call the instance method. So which one would you like?
Could you do food dot all then in the bracket 0?
Yeah, I could do that if I want to. It'll give me the first item in the array. Yeah? So this instance probably has a feral cat. So which feral cat will this one return me? What ID feral cat will this return me if I do dot feral cat? There it is. So just this active record magic. Cool? And if I do this one, dot nice person, what should I get? I should be getting whatever nice person that has an ID of 3. So much power. And lastly, the last thing we want to test is going to be the nice person. So I have nice person. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. That all? But you can use more methods, right? Let's do nice person. Let's grab a particular person. Let's find by name someone like Swaglord, your favorite. So the find by method works. Thank you, active record. And this person, this nice person, has many foods. So let's see what foods is. Wow. It's a collection, an active record collection, an array of one object. So far, so good. Can I just do foods? I notice that it's a food object, and I know that foods, I see your question. I know that foods has these methods on it, feral cat and nice person. Can I call dot feral cat on the foods array? Undefined method feral cat for the active record collection proxy. I actually really need to go inside the foods array. Even though there's one thing in it, I need the instance before I can call dot feral cat. Remember what you're invoking the method on. Yeah? This question?
Okay, so can you scroll up a little bit? Okay, so like feral cat dot first dot nice people, it's just referring, like it's referencing the IDs of the nice person with the nice person underscore ID of
Yes.
whatever, a feral cat.
That's correct.
Okay. So how does it know how to like return those objects? It just does it for you.
That's correct. So do you remember the ORM that you built with Alex? It'll run SQL query, and then it'll map over every single thing from the row, and then it will turn them into an instance.
Okay.
And so just active record will do all of that for you. So powerful. So much power. And the last thing we really kind of want to test, again, is in this nice person class. Finally, we want to test the feral cats. So nice person. Boop, boop, boop. And let's do find with an ID of 4, which should give me what? Who's ID 4 a nice person? Let's go to the neighborhood, you know what I mean? And what does this nice person, what methods do we have here? We can either do feral cats, whoops, or we can do foods. So why do both of these return an array-like object?
You can have multiple instances.
Correct, because of the has many. Even if there's one thing in there, it will return an array-like object because the potential is that there could be many. The array might even be empty. Are there any questions on how to use active record to do the many-many relationship? Who feels like they understand the has many through? Okay, who feels like they're comfortable with the foreign key? Which one gets the foreign key, the has many or the belongs to? Cool, that's all I have for you today.